Welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour, your source for all hard rock, heavy metal, new metal, alternative, punk, horror punk, hardcore, rock, and all local bands with your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather.
This is VonDee from Lonely Dakota, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
The views and opinions of the guests do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of BODS Mayhem Radio Network, its staff, affiliates, or sponsors. Parental discretion is advised. Welcome to BODS Mayhem Radio Network.
Hey everybody, welcome to BODS Mayhem Hour. I'm your host, John the Bod, aka the Bodfather, and as always, I'm bringing you guys and gals awesome interviews. Today, it's an honor and a privilege to have VonDee, the vocalist of Lonely Dakota. UK-based southern rock band Lonely Dakota have released their 5-track EP entitled End of Days, which is out now. This is their debut EP. So we're going to be talking to VonDee about all that good stuff. So VonDee, how's it going, my man?
Yeah, it's nice to be here, man. Thanks for having me.
Let's jump right into this. How's it been working with tag publicity so far?
Really good. It's been a bit of a leap of faith for us because obviously tag are based in the States and we're over here in the UK. So it's dealing with time zones and stuff is a bit of fun. But other than that, they've been great, man. Really good.
So in 2016, you met PJ. Let's talk about this a little bit. When did it click for you guys that you wanted to work together in this band?
I think for me and PJ in particular, it was kind of, I answered an ad because they were looking for a vocalist on like a Craigslist type thing. So I went along, listened to the music. I loved the kind of heavy guitar that they were putting out and the riffs, threw some lyrics at it and it just stuck. And it really kind of suited how I wanted to sing because when I started off, I wasn't playing guitar. I was just the vocals. And it just kind of really went from there. It was kind of exactly the guitar sound I had in my head, and I think for PJ it was kind of the vocals he had in his, so it just married really well together.
April 2016, Lonely Dakota would release their first single, On the Rise. That was recorded at the Ranch Production House. It received local radio success. Were you surprised the track was picked up by local radio and it got the support that it needed to get out there?
We were, because we were worried it might have been a bit too heavy for kind of the mainstream radios that were around by us, because it got picked up by BBC Introducing, and they're kind of quite well known for their support of indie music. But yeah, that really took off, and they kind of compared us to, at the time, Bring Me the Horizon and bands like that, because we were a bit heavier and grittier, I think, then.
Does that add like extra pressure being, I guess, a band just starting up really, and then be compared to Bring Me the Horizon and bands like that? Did that add like a little extra pressure for you guys?
It did, especially as, our first gig as well, as we played with Wilson, who were like well on the up and up. I think they were touring with Megadeth last year, and like a British band called Raining Days. And I think we all felt that pressure a bit, but kind of it's nice to get that recognition straight away and kind of pushed us to go as far as we could.
VonDee, what's impressed or excited you guys the most about working or making the debut EP entitled End of Days, if anything? What's caught your eye about it the most, possibly?
Do you know what I love about it is it's a big range of different kind of rock tracks. It's got those heavy riff-laden tracks, like the title track End of Days is just like a full-on kind of head-banging riff. And then we've got a song like Medication on there and Victoria, which are more kind of ballads. And what the kind of feedback we've had so far from like Planet Rock in the UK and a few other places has just been that this EP, even though it's only 5 tracks, kind of offers something for everyone. And that's what we wanted. We wanted everyone to kind of go, okay, this is a sound that we recognize in every song, but each song's different. I really can't kind of stand those 4-track EPs where it's all that's happened is the lyrics has changed and they're the same riffs repeating. Each song's different.
End of Days, that the title track that's out right now, the single, it's pretty awesome, man. I got to say, I'm really impressed with it from you guys.
Oh, thank you very much, man.
Any songs standing out more to you than any right now on this EP? I know it must change every time you listen to it. I know there's only 5 tracks. Do you have any that stick out for you?
So, I mean, 2 of them that really stick out for me that isn't End of Days is Victoria, because Victoria's a song about losing a partner, a soldier, to war. And I've got friends in the forces, and we've just had Armed Forces Day here in the UK. I think it's just been quite, because that kind of stuff's been in the media a lot. We've had some quite nice kind of personal messages about that song and how it relates to, what certain people think and feel about people that they love and stuff that aren't necessarily home at the moment. And Overdrive as well, for me, is something you don't see a lot of at the moment. It's a dual vocal, call and repeat kind of balls to the wall rock song. And for me, it just inspires all those thoughts and memories of being a teenager, going out, drinking, driving, not in that order, and and just having fun and a good time and just blaring the radio. It's a true kind of summer driving song out in the garden with some beers, having a barbecue type track that you just want to blast as loud as you can, man.
And I'm glad you paid homage to those folks who are serving right now, because without those folks, we wouldn't be doing what we're doing right now. That is for sure.
Definitely, man. They don't get the kind of recognition they deserve.
I agree 1,000% with you on that for sure. You returned to the Ranch Production House to record the EP. What's so special working with these guys that made you want to go back to them?
I think the best thing about the Ranch is they are like a pedigree production house. We went there and they're able to give a local band a chance at going in and recording in the same studio that's had Funeral for a Friend, Creeper, countless metal bands. And they're able to give us that chance and that opportunity, and they've got so much experience. And just the producer we worked with on the EP and the track before, Kurt, was just so into the tracks. He sat there, he discussed what we wanted our track to sound like. And he wasn't just kind of sat on the sidelines like, okay, do it that way if you want. It was like, okay, well, I think if you tried it this way, it might sound better, or have you guys considered doing that? And it was almost like having an honorary fifth member to the band for that kind of recording experience. And it just really enhanced what we were doing.
So did he push you guys hard on this album, on this EP, I should say?
I think he definitely wanted the best from us. So like double tracking vocals and stuff like that. And trying to double track solos is exceptionally difficult when you're just trying to kind of feel it in the moment. And we've actually got a clip on our Instagram of PJ writing one of the solos, and kind of in the background you can see Kurt kind of push his finger up into the air when he expects the solo to go up. Just as he does it, he was that into and involved in the track. He knew what was going to happen and how we were going to react to what we needed to do.
You guys have released tracks End of Days and Overdrive. Was it hard to choose between the current set of songs on this EP, VonDee, which would be the first single, let alone a video for you guys? Or did you have someone outside to say, hey, look, let's go with this song?
We did have a couple of people listen to it, and we said, if you were going to listen to these 5 tracks, which ones do you think would stand out? And almost every single person was like, End of Days, End of Days, End of Days. I think that's kind of because it's what you expect from a rock song. It's got that heavy riff. It's got that kind of catchy lyrics that you can sing along to. It's not necessarily overtly complicated, but it's just like a great rock and roll song. We did have some discussion about the second single. So obviously we've gone for Overdrive, but there was lots of discussion about actually whether Medication would be a better choice, which is a softer song, almost like a ballad. But in the end, we decided we wanted to get those kind of raw, quick, headbanging tunes out.
Official music video for End of Days was directed by, and I hope I pronounce this right, Kev. Working with them, or her, I should say, or I'll just go with him.
It's him, yeah.
Working with him, how was working with him on this? Did he meet exactly what you guys was wanting in this video?
I'll tell you what, the idea for the End of the Days video kind of wasn't one of these drawn on a napkin ideas, but was very close. We needed a video turned around really quickly, and I know Kebe from my day job. So I kind of spoke to him, told him what I wanted to do, and the guy just sprung into action almost straight away. And within a couple of days, we had a venue booked to go shoot. We had Arabella Black, which is the name of the model in the video. She was all booked in, and the turnaround time on that video was amazing. I mean, talking about professional, the guy filmed it in 4 or 5 hours with all of our extras, and then turned the thing around in a week so that we were ready for the EP launch.
Who did the cover art for the album?
That was PJ, the lead guitarist, is also a graphic designer, and he does lots of work, some very high-end clients in the UK. And thankfully that pays off really well for us because we don't have to pay a graphic designer for all our cool artwork.
That is true, and that's not cheap at sometimes. What do you hope everyone takes away from this EP, or message you hope they hear while listening to it, or just any of Lonely Dakota's music in general? What do you hope they get from it?
I hope they get something they can relate to. I mean, it's one thing for somebody else to listen to a song and say, you know, oh, that's a good song. For me, every time I hear one of the songs, because I write the lyrics, so I know what that song's about for me personally. And then when other people say, oh, I can relate to that, or something like that's happened to me, it's kind of that, sounds a bit corny, but I hope people would realize they're not alone. Everyone goes through shit and hard times and, you know, just looking for something better. And I think some of our songs just sing to that hymn. And then others are just like I said, like full-on rock songs. Like sometimes you want to think, sometimes you want to drink, and that's kind of what sums up our kind of debut EP. I think whether you're thinking or drinking, there should be something there for you.
Do you see this band still musically growing from where it started, or has it just been more of a personal growth for all of you guys involved in this?
I think that the music is coming a long way. I mean, Sapala joined as a drummer in February, and our sound has really grown since then. The guy's a phenomenal drummer, and it's kind of changed our sound a bit. It's kind of drawn us more towards that southern rock sound, and it's just really, it's pushed all of us and everything that we've got coming up. So even though we've just released this 5-track EP, we've got 2 singles that we're already thinking about releasing later this year, and then another 5-track EP next year, or 4-track EP that's already written and ready to go. And it's not just the same stuff regurgitated. It's all you would recognize it as Lonely Dakota, but not as the same songs repeated.
Why go the EP route and just save up and say, okay, let's just make one big full album?
We talked about it and we thought about it. And I think that the problem is with doing one album and just releasing it out there. If you're really well established and you've got your fans there ready to go, an album's a great idea. For us, we're still kind of cultivating our fan base, growing our fan base. And what we recognize is a lot of people want more content more often. So instead of doing one album with 10 tracks, we're going to do 2 EPs over 12 months instead of then going quiet for for 11 months while we work on the next one. I think the idea is to just keep it flowing and keep us on the top of the Spotify plays instead of being relegated to the bottom of someone's playlist.
When you're coming into the recording studio, do you do anything differently during the writing and recording process to help keep your mind fresh and open to not let the music get boring or not let the music get stale? Do you do anything that helps you out possibly?
Oh, that's a hard one. I guess the idea is that we've picked those tracks long before we go into the studio. We don't go to the studio and go, we need to pick 4 of our tracks. Which 4 are we going to do? I mean, we picked the 5 tracks that we were going to do maybe 8 weeks, 12 weeks before we actually went into the studio. Talked about why we were going to do those tracks, made sure we had a plan of what had to be included and what was going to be recorded, and just worked through it that way. Although we didn't decide we were going to put End of Days on the EP actually until maybe the week before, because the song was only finished 2 weeks before the EP was recorded.
What can fans expect at a show from Lonely Dakota who have not got to see you guys live as of yet? What are they going to get when they come out to see you all live?
Hopefully an experience. So we played in London on our release date last week, and we just went for it, man. We were jumping around all over the stage. PJ was playing his guitar behind his head. Sapala was swinging sticks everywhere. Me and Tez were out into the crowd with microphones and guitars. It's about being there and experiencing it as opposed to just standing at the back of the room and listening to it.
We're living in the digital era of recording albums to get music out quicker, and plus we got social media now to reach out to more folks who have not got to hear Lonely Dakota. Do you like this that we're living in now to get music out quicker and plus social media to reach out to more people who have not got to hear of you guys yet?
I think social media is a bit of a minefield. On kind of one side of it, it's great that you can get to people all over the world. I mean, we've got fans on our fan pages on Instagram and Facebook from Australia to Brazil to the States, which is great. But I guess one of the problems with that is you kind of spread yourself quite thin when you're a growing band. And it's about making sure you get the interactions as well. I mean, if you're spanning all sorts of time zones, you're not necessarily going to get loads of hits and loads of shares on something that you're putting out. So, I mean, we use social media. We have to use social media. It's the only way that people really hear about us. But I'd much prefer people to find out about us from a gig or by a recommendation than seeing kind of a Facebook advert poke up on the side of the screen.
So let's talk about local support being from the UK. Do you guys get a lot of local support or no?
We get some. Our fan base is definitely growing. I mean, we will have people that follow us around kind of 70, 80 miles to come watch us play at different venues, which is great. But the kind of rock scene in the UK is kind of going under a resurgence at the moment, and it's kind of coming back with this rise in new wave of classic rock, stuff like Those Damn Crows and stuff like that, who are a great band. But it's kind of everyone's hedging their bets on those bands that are breaking through, as opposed to necessarily supporting those ones that are on their way to that point, if that makes sense.
What made you want to become a musician? What was that spark for you that said, yeah, that's what I want to do right there?
To become like a rock musician and a singer and songwriter, I can remember exactly when I was 15, I was doing work experience in Toys R Us selling Xboxes. And they had like all the TVs set up and Kerrang came on and they played Broken by Siva. And that song just completely resonated with me. That was like, lyrically, it was beautiful. It was such a simple song to play. And I just realized in that moment that I wanted to make music like that. That's the kind of stuff I wanted to sing. And that's the kind of emotion I wanted to get out of other people.
Is there a country that stands out or shocks you that Lonely Dakota gets support from, or your music even gets played in that area, possibly?
We've had quite a bit of support from the Philippines, actually. So kind of a growing number of people that like our page are from the Philippines, and plays and a few orders have come from the Philippines. And that is literally the other side of the planet from where we are. So that was quite a shock.
Is there a band on the bucket list for you that you would like to work tour with, or maybe even do an old school album split with, possibly?
For me, Blacktop Mojo, I think.
Oh, nice.
Would be up there. I only found out about Blacktop Mojo fairly recently, maybe 6-9 months ago. I was just strolling through YouTube, picked up one of their videos, listened to it, loved it, and I thought, we've got a similar sound here. I think if we went on tour together, that's definitely a band I think we could support, and fans would enjoy that experience.
Everybody want to get out and pick up Lonely Dakota's debut EP entitled End of Days, which is out now. VonDee, how can folks stay in touch with you guys, buy some merchandise, tour dates, this EP? How can they do that, good sir?
You can order it on iTunes or go add it to your playlist on Spotify. Or if you go to www.lonelydakota.com, you can go to our online store to order some of the limited edition physical copies that we've had printed.
Before I let you go, would you care to do a promo for the show?
Yeah, that's cool, yeah. This is VonDee from Lonely Dakota, and you're listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Everybody stick around. We got some great stuff coming up, and you only hear these interviews right here on BODS Mayhem Hour and BODS Mayhem Radio Network. Please get out and check out our Facebook page. It has our YouTube link, podcast link, and soon our Twitch link. And also get out and check out Lonely Dakota. Pick up their debut EP entitled End of Days, which is out now, and I'm pretty sure you guys are going to dig them. So, VonDee, thank you so much, and I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you very much.
listening to BODS Mayhem Hour.
Follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.